From the Joy News Center. This is News at 8.
Thank you for joining us on the Primetime News Bulletin here on the Joy News channel. Coming up, former Attorney General and citizen vigilante Martin Amidu challenges claims by government that it supported him in his landmark case at the Supreme Court, in which Waterville has been ordered to refund a €25 million judgment debt it received from the state. No Other Minority wants the AG to take steps to ensure the state can recover monies paid to businessman Alfred Woyome should the court rule against him in a related case. Government defends criticisms against Interministerial Anti-Galamsey Task Force. Alfred Vanderpoy affirmed as Accra mayor despite calls for his removal. And Makala number 2 school shut down as a result of the recent fire has been reopened. We also have business, sports, showbiz, and international news coming up in the next 60 minutes.
News at 8 with Israel Lai.
The Ministry of Justice and Attorney General's Department has revealed that it gave Martin Amidu the needed support leading to the landmark ruling in which the Supreme Court ordered Waterville Holdings to refund tens of millions of euros to the state. A statement issued by Dr. Dominic Ayeni, Deputy Minister for Justice and Attorney General, said the office personally researched and supervised the filing of processes in support of Mr. Amidu. This is also a matter of public record and can be verified. The statement, which sought to contradict suggestions that Mr. Martin Amidu was left on his own to fight the case against Waterville, said similar support was extended to Mr. Amidu in his case against the Isofoton SA case, in which the judgment debt is expected to be given this Friday. So now this was a statement coming from the Attorney General's Department. But former Attorney General Martin Amidu has challenged the claims by the AG's department that it helped him in his fight to retrieve money wrongly paid to Waterville Holdings. He said it was strange that the AG's department, which was the first defendant in the suit and remained so till judgment, was now claiming to have helped him, the plaintiff, in the case. Here are extracts of the statement. It says, well, why are we fighting over who takes credit for a judgment in vindication of the Constitution? The important thing is that the judgment was given pursuant to an action by the plaintiff in the public interest. The AG, he says, was first defendant and remained so till judgment. The office of the AG would not be helping or supporting the plaintiff if they admitted the plaintiff's claim because they do not have a defense to its claim. Waterville was wrongly paid by an Attorney General who, instead of protecting the Republic, chose to unconstitutionally arbitrate and paid €25 million to them. What prevented the AG from taking the position I took? They never pursued Waterville for a refund of that money in any court. So how can the AG now say she supported me in my action? Did the AG draft my writs and statement of case in the Waterville, Woyome, and Isofoton cases for me? Did the AG's office conduct research for me to write my writs, statement of case, and legal submissions? Did the AG pay my filing fees for the 2 cases? Did not the AG have to ask for leave out of time to file his defense in the 2 cases when I was ready for the hearing? Was it not the plaintiff who was Attorney General amended the writs and statement of claim at the High Court to plead fraud for the first time and rewrite the whole case now pending in that court? Were the hands of the succeeding AGs not tied by the pleadings the plaintiff in the 2 cases left behind when he left office? The statement by Martin Amidu continues. The amendments were purposefully initiated in anticipation of the fact that I was on my way out. Did the plaintiff not go to the Supreme Court precisely because after he left office, the AGs were trying to compromise the cases? How then do you help a plaintiff? Only when you are failing the people and he decides to sue you in the Supreme Court for the people's money at his own expense. I am sad that the government supported by my own political party is spinning even a simple and glaring case. I do not want any credit for the Supreme Court's decision. The Constitution of Ghana has won. The people of Ghana who are sovereign have won. I'm not interested in any glories or who must take credit. Who is Martin Amidu if the people of Ghana did not fund his education? Who is Martin Amidu if the people of Ghana did not give him an opportunity to serve this nation, and particularly as Deputy Attorney General for several years and also as Attorney General? I claim nothing from the people of Ghana but to use the knowledge they gave me to serve them. I have purposefully decided to stay out of the public eye because I do not want the judgment won by the people of Ghana to be about me. The government can take all the credit. I do not mind. My satisfaction is that the court has ordered the refund of all monies paid to Waterville to the Republic. The Attorney General will serve the people well if instead of claiming to have won the cases, she concentrated in ensuring that every peso is returned as ordered by the court. He concludes the statement by saying, "Leave me alone." When contacted for his reaction, the Attorney General says the issue is too petty. The reaction from the former AG is too petty for him to react to. Meanwhile, the minority in Parliament has advised the Attorney General to take preemptive steps to safeguard the state's interests in its attempt to retrieve an inordinate judgment debt paid to businessman Alfred Woyome. The state is currently in court to retrieve the 51 million Ghana cedis in a case related to the Martin Amidu Waterville matter, in which the Supreme Court last week ordered some 25 million euros to be paid back to government chest. The minority believes the AG should get the courts to order Mr. Woyome to deposit the amount in court as surety until a determination of the matter. It is also urging government to ensure Waterville pays back the money as directed by the court.
The minority expressed worry if Alfred Woyome is not made to deposit the money to the courts now, it may never be able to claim it once the court rules against Mr. Woyome.
Our interest is who did what in this whole exercise, and the law of Ghana must be seen to be applying to those people. Mr. Woyome, we're careful not to prejudice the trial, but in view of the judgment in the Waterville case, the substratum of Mr. Woyome's claim appears to have been removed. That is why we are making the case that to protect Ghana's interest, the money, the amount, which is the subject matter of this suit, should be deposited in court, so that should the case go against him, there will be some money somewhere. The next step is for government to take steps to retrieve the money. If the government does not do that, what is my responsibility? What's your responsibility? Parliament as an institution may not be able to take one step except asking government to do what it's doing, proceed to recover the money. But individuals, civil society groups, and this minority will continue to put pressure on government to ensure that the money is recovered and placed where it is.
The group also believes the outcome of the sole commissioner's findings will uncover more inordinate judgment debts that will have to be refunded to the state.
As we speak, the sole commissioner is investigating all those issues relating to judgment debts, who did what, who failed to do what. When that report is ready, then the specific individuals, what wrongs or rights they did would come out. That is when you'll be able to prescribe or request that the specific actions commensurate with the actions or inactions to be taken against them.
The minority also commended the former Attorney General, Martin Amidu, for initiating the process.
Government has defended criticisms the Inter-Ministerial Anti-Galamsey Task Force has unduly targeted Chinese nationals. Reacting to a news conference by the Chinese ambassador at today's Flagstaff House briefing, Deputy Information and Media Relations Minister Felix Kwakye Ofosu said government is merely performing its functions.
There have been a number of reports in international media outlets. We have also heard reports of some protests in China about the operation being undertaken by the task force. We are yet to receive any credible complaint of any inhumane treatment.
Mr. Kwachio Fosu said government will continue to protect the constitution, but he downplayed fears it will affect relations with China.
As far as government was concerned, nothing adverse was said at the press conference. They have seen footage of the damage done to our environment by Galamsey and are in agreement that the Ghanaian government has taken the right course of action. We do not have any difficulty with Chinese. We have numerous agreements ongoing with the Chinese government. This exercise has not in any way affected the relationship that exists between Ghana and China. Explanations and clarifications have been provided to the Chinese delegation that has come in. And as far as we are concerned, they are satisfied.
The task force was commissioned in May this year to clamp down on illegal gold miners.
The task force was given instructions to confront the problem head-on, using legal means, of course. They were told not to discriminate. It does not matter the nationality of the individuals involved. And let me stress that it is not only Chinese people who have been involved. We have given reports of nationals from other countries, Nigerians, Malians, Nigerians, and many other people of different nationalities.
The Ghana Immigration Service says over 200 Chinese and about 51 Nigerians have been repatriated since the task force started its operations. The minister blamed the media for reportage he says suggests the Chinese were the main target of the task force operations.
While President John Dramani Mahama has reaffirmed Alfred Van der Poel as Accra mayor, his affirmation comes despite recent calls by some chiefs for his removal. A number of metropolitan, municipal and district chief executives in the Greater Accra and Eastern regions have also been maintained. A statement from the Office of the Minister for Local Government and Rural Development, Kwesi Opong-Fosu, said the nominations and renominations by the President were made in accordance with the Constitution. They are George Opare Ado, Ukapim North, Emmanuel Atachum, Etiwa, Nana Bafo, Techi Brim South, Andrews Soda, Yulo Krobo, Samuel Asamoah Kwewu East, Samuel Fletcher, Kwebi Suhum, Joseph Tete Angmo Apa Manya Krobo, Emmanuel Odor Late, Dangbe West, and John Kwao Saki, Gan East. The following new nominations have also been made: Paul Dadzi Abaji Brim North and Rita Odole Soa La Dade Kotopon. We're taking a break. We'll be back with more stories on Go Away. Members of Parliament have called for immediate review of the entire Code of Conduct for teacher trainees to reflect present-day trends. It follows reports about the barring of some final-year teacher trainees from taking part in their final exams because they were pregnant.
Contributions to the matter started after MP for Akachi North and Vice Chairman of the Select Committee on Education read a statement calling for a review of the Code of Conduct.
The society and allow them to write their examinations as the necessary review of the Code of Conduct is done.
MP for Takwa Nswaim, Gifty Eugene Akusi, condemned the practice.
As a country, we shouldn't follow ideas which seem to be outmoded. Now everybody is talking about family planning, yes. But Mr. Speaker, you know that human beings and human relations, we cannot take sex out of anything because it is a means of procreation. It is a means by which God, the Almighty God himself created. And therefore, if nobody should be punished because of this, I mean, especially if the person is an adult.
Her contribution attracted a comment from the MP for Ofuasia Yiribi, David Opon-Kusi.
A classroom full of pregnant women, if we don't bring the next question. So,
for Kofi Osei Meao, it conflicts with Article 17(2) of the Constitution.
If a woman is pregnant and the man who impregnated the woman sits in the classroom and the woman is allowed to leave the classroom, that clearly shows that that is discrimination.
Majority Chief Whip Muntaka Mohammed also added his voice.
Once they attain the age of 18, what it means is that their liberty to decide when to give birth is no longer with the educational institution.
Sitting was adjourned to tomorrow at 10 in the morning.
The Committee for Joint Action and other pressure groups are the latest to join the opposition to proposals for an increase in electricity tariffs. According to them, there has not been any corresponding increase in productivity by the utility company since the tariffs went up in 2010. The pressure groups have also asked the Public Utilities and Regulatory Commission to implement the automatic adjustment formula proposed 3 years ago that would allow a gradual rather than sharp increase.
Representatives of the utility groups at the forum organized by the PURC took turns to argue why they deserve the increases. The various pressure groups, however, countered their claims.
They want to take off on a long-term activity today, considering the fact that so far workers' salary has not gone up. Cost of living keeps rising by the day. Salaries of workers don't correspond to that cost of living. Are we going to open up ourselves to a very tensed society where we are going to double up the cost of living when salaries have not gone up? If you ask me, I think the approach is too harsh, and it would have a serious bearing.
If we want to support any tariff increment, there should have been a corresponding increase in efficiency from the 2010 tariffs. But as of today, not much has been done.
The chairman of the technical committee of the PURC, Moses Asaga, also had concerns about management of the West African gas pipeline.
We Ghanaians and consumers, we don't trust them, because today they tell us something, another day they tell us another story. Today it is the pipeline that is broken down. Immediately they finish with the pipeline, they tell you, oh, you know, we couldn't get whatever inert gas to wash it through. Immediately they finish that, they say, oh, you know, we are yet to get compressed gas to come in. Immediately they get compressed gas, then again another ship has come to break the pipeline. We are tired with VRA. They have a good case, but they haven't managed the gas supply from Nigeria very, very well.
The Ashanti Council is the next group to attend the consultative stakeholders meeting on a tariff increment.
Residents of Wa in the Upper West region have expressed worry about the increasing cases of armed robbery in the municipality, a situation they blame largely on the malfunctioning of the street lights there. Since the Egyptian electrical contractor Elsworthy Limited finished their project some 3 years ago, the lights have never functioned, leaving most parts of the town in darkness at nightfall. Rafiq Salam reports from Wa.
I am driving around town now at 10 minutes past 12 midnight. Only two of the streets have their lights on. The Ipe Street, who divides Wapani from Doble, and the new residency where the regional minister is housed. The expectation of many, if not all residents here, is that these street lights installed by Egyptian electrical firm Elsworthy Limited will improve the lighting at night and security of the municipality. It's been close to 3 years since they were installed, and that dream is yet to materialize. They have never functioned simultaneously. Most of them work perfectly in the afternoon when the sun is at its zenith, only to go off when darkness sets in. This man, who claimed to be the last person to always go to bed in the municipality and being popularly referred to as Wallace Bass, shared his thought on the issue.
Every corner, the system are not working. Especially if you are passing for Estrip Road, that's the Hambury Road. That's the most important road. Street lights are not on. If you pass the Wapoli Road, street lights have not on there. Even Wat Township, from police station to Kambale, difficult. So we are taking the blame to give one municipal chief executive, Yakubu Diogo. He didn't do well. So as soon as
this motorist, a market woman who gave their names as Bertrand and Salah, are not sure who to blame.
If it happened that it's the VRA that are in charge, they should come to our aid and respond to it. Why? In the sense that we are paying for services, but the services are not being delivered at the right time. More to the point, it happens that daytime you see the street lights on, and at night when the street light is supposed to be on, there will be darkness. So we want that if you are paying for that services, the services should be delivered.
I remember here that I could call it by the Jama to one sort of an answer of banana, they are the only guardian. You couldn't let you get a 10 to 11. You couldn't have 2 I
The Wa Municipal Chief Executive, Dogu Yakubu, is aware of the malfunctioning street lights, but says elsewhere limited, the contractor is to blame.
The major problem is simply that the contractor that is a foreign contractor from Egypt, he should have taken care of the project after handing over to the assembly. They should have tried to help us take care of it for a full year or two, so that when everything normalized, then they will just wash off their hands. But that has not been done. Even spare parts or extra poles and other things said that when one is broken, we can replace it. There's nothing like that. So it is a very big challenge to us as a municipality.
Despite that challenge, Dogu stated that the assembly is working around the clock to fix it.
Currently, on the ceremonial route towards the residency, we have given it to Book Ghana to mount, to replace all those poles that have been hit down by motorists. At least they have scooped this thing, and very soon they'll mount them. And they are saying it's our property, so we are trying to take care of it by maintaining it.
As the people here pray to the assembly to fix the problem, there is also the case of over a dozen of the fiber optic poles being run into by drivers, which will require all residents to be vigilant over these state assets to ensure the culprits are brought to book. Reporting for Joy News, Rafiq Salam.
Now, pupils of the Overcomers Child Academy are finally back in school after nearly 2 weeks of staying at home. They had to stay away for that long because their school, which is situated within the Makola No. 2 market, was declared a security zone after a fire outbreak. Even though the school was not affected, it took the intervention of the Deputy Greater Accra Minister Isaac Van der Poy to get security officials to grant the pupils access.
The pupils gathered at the entrance of the Makola No. 2 market, eager to return to their classrooms to resume academic work.
I feel very happy in my heart, and I know that yes, we are all going to learn. First, we don't talk to each other, we don't see each other every day, but now when they said to open the gate, all the students have come, so we are very happy.
After nearly an hour, they were allowed in.
We are marching to our classes. We are marching to our classes.
June 4th, 2013 was the last day these people sat in their classroom.
After staying home for nearly 14 days, pupils of Overcomers Child Academy are happy to be back to their classroom.
11-year-old Ruhaima Mansuru, who campaigned for the reopening, said she was happy to be back in class.
I feel very happy and proud that I'm in school and I'm learning. If I tell my parents, they'll be very happy, and they'll even thank God that I'm in school and I'm learning, and they'll even ask me some of the things that I learned in school.
Her classmates could not hold back their joy.
I'm happy because we are back to school to learn, to study art, and to be a good person in future.
For him, he was the first man that God created.
Well, good news from the Overcomers Child Academy. Meanwhile, tuberculosis patients who take their medication from the Living Clinic have also received their medication after being deprived of it for nearly 2 weeks. The coordinator of the clinic, Samuel Crabb, spoke to Joy News.
Yesterday, we were allowed to enter briefly to the clinic after the minister's approval. And we were able to give the TB patient their drugs. Fortunately or unfortunately, we were made to know that the market is not open fully to operation. So we took the drugs out. It's in the manager's car. So anytime, if we are not allowed to enter, we would like to serve them at the gate. If we are permitted to enter, we enter. And then we have informed the patients to keep vigil, that anytime they should be coming and going, that they should see to it that the gate is open. They can come in. If they don't see the gate open, we can serve them outside.
Up next, we bring you business news. John Dramani Mahama is expected to announce a stimulus package for industries and businesses in the 2014 budget. Industries in the pharmaceutical, food, manufacturing and horticultural sectors are expected to benefit from several financial interventions and support services from government in a bid to increase employment and grow the economy. Minister of Trade and Industry Haruna Iddrisu told journalists at the launch of the 7th ECOWAS Trade Fair in Accra the move is to assist Ghanaian businesses with the requisite investment to compete internationally.
Outlining some interventions by governments to revamp the growth of small and medium-sized enterprises in the country, the minister said Cabinet has given approval for the implementation of a national export strategy to increase the country's exports. Government is hoping to increase export to $6 billion by 2016. For this to happen, Haruna Iddrisu said government intends to invest more in agriculture and review the Export Development and Investment Fund (EDIF) law, not just to focus on export, but on agriculture production as well.
To do so will mean we would have to invest more in agriculture, particularly the export of horticultural products, including the likes of mango, banana, cashew, and the rest. I am happy to announce that from this year up to end of 2016, it is the decision of the President Mahama administration to support through EDIF the development of small, medium irrigation facilities in 4 parts of the country, at least 2 in the northern belt and 2 in the southern belt, as a way of contributing to expansion of agricultural production, particularly exportable agricultural products.
He also elaborates on the new stimulus package.
Early next year, in the 2014 budget statement, President John Dramani Mahama, for the first time, will deliver what will be described as his stimulus package or intervention to industry, which will target at least 5 main industrialists. 1 in the pharmaceutical sector, food and beverages production, manufacturing, cashew and other horticultural crops. What we need is for you to nominate for us enterprises and businesses who would make productive and judicious use of those interventions from government and demonstrate a capacity to create jobs to respond to the growing unemployment in our country.
The 7th ECOWAS Trade Fair is a collaboration between the Ghana Trade Fair Company Limited and the ECOWAS Commission and forms part of efforts to deepen inter-regional cooperation between member states.
The ECOWAS Commission has put in place a regional organizing committee made up of member states who are also propagating the idea to the other regional member countries. In the same vein, the National Organizing Committee in Ghana is going to have regional lunches of the fair to sell the idea so that we'll have more patronage this time round during the fair.
Ghanaian businesses have been advised to patronize the fair in order to network efficiently with other West African nationals to grow their businesses. The fair will be held between October 24th and November 4th this year.
Now, the China Development Bank is expected to resume disbursement of the $3 billion loan facility to Ghana from July next month. This follows changes to the loan agreement by Parliament. Joy Business sources indicate the funds should be coming in the next few weeks. The CDB pushed for amendments to enable it resume the payment of the facility, which would be disbursed over a 3 to 5 year period. Ghana has so far been able to draw a little over $200 million since it signed the agreement with the Chinese government in 2011. Government was expecting to receive about $750 million last year to fund the construction of a plant in the western region to process gas from the Jubilee field. Now, the Ghana Statistical Service has postponed the announcement of rebased inflation figures for the 3rd time in a row. And then government has been urged to proceed cautiously with its second attempt at mobilizing funds from the international capital market. Executive Director of the Center for Policy Analysis, Dr. Joe Abbey, explains though the current crisis in the financial markets could inure to the country's benefit by way of competitive interest rates, it may find itself in a quagmire if the monies are not put to good use.
The global economy is still crawling to recovery after the recession. Though the U.S. is making some strides, some nations in the Eurozone, such as Greece, are having it tough, forcing them to make vicious spending cuts. Experts say the global crisis is driving foreign investors to look at emerging markets such as Ghana for investment opportunities. This, Dr. Joe Abbey says, makes it a good time for the country to access loans such as the $1 billion Eurobond.
We can go to the market, the secondary market, and buy the old bond, which is at an interest rate of 8.5% a year, and replace it with 5.5%, let's say, a year. So that will save you interest payments. So there's an advantage that we can use a cheaper debt to replace some of the more expensive debt that we have on our books. And that would mean that we'll be saving because right now we're reaching a point where interest payments on the public debt are threatening to claim about 4% of national income. There have been flows to our stock market because people are looking to invest their funds.
Dr. Abbey says, though there is still the danger that the recovery may not hold, foreign investors may opt for better environment in case the global economy fully recovers, and government must be well positioned to respond appropriately.
When the United States economy begins to pick up, and the fear of inflation means that the easy money tap gets turned off, you could find a reversal. You could find that these investors begin to go to safer. Right now they are willing to take riskier things if the return is good. As they reverse, of course they will take foreign exchange with them. So there could be an added pressure as they leave us. There could be pressure on the exchange rate. So you've got to be very careful how you use the foreign exchange that you so mobilize.
With Ghana's status as a middle-income economy, foreign investor confidence has seen a boost, especially in the oil sector. Dr. Abbey believes if the manufacturing sector is made more attractive, Ghana can generate more income and cut back on loans.
Now, Dr. George Sipayanke, Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Gas Company, says Ghana is likely to incur huge costs to bring back European subcontractor Michael Perry, which laid the offshore pipeline system at the Tuabo gas plant in the Western region. The company stopped work and quit the country over the non-payment of $30 million owed them by the main contractor on site, Sinopec. Government is owing Sinopec over $400 million, which it is yet to pay. Dr. Sipayanke, as I said, the issue is expected to be resolved by the end of this week as Parliament has approved the China Development Bank loan agreement. Up next, we bring you some smart investment tips.
Business was brought to you in association with
First Atlantic. Sports is brought to you in association.
Right, time for the very latest in the world of sports, and we can talk about Gaga. As part of Gaga's plans to give the President's Cup a continental outlook, four-time African champion TP Mazembe of the Democratic Republic of Congo and Nigerian giant Enugu Rangers will be taking on their Ghanaian counterparts, Accra Hearts of Oak and Medium Sporting Clubs. The four clubs would go into a playoff for their place in the final. TP Mazembe representative Nano Drosafo believes the tournament will serve as a good platform to prepare his side ahead of impending continental assignments.
Mazembe just left, could not go to the finals. They left the semi-finals, and this year they dropped to the CAF Confederation Cup. So I think it's okay because how many clubs in Ghana were able to go past the quarter-final stage in the competition this year? So the performance of Mazembe coming to Ghana will be something bigger than what we have in Ghana. If there's no sabotage, then my club can pull the crowd because we don't have anybody here. It is this has Kotoko people who watch the game, and since Kotoko are not part of it, I don't know how they are going to take it, how they are going to patronize the game. But Mazembe, per our own, when we are bringing our jets, at least we can bring at least 100 people to come and watch the game. So they can decide not to come and watch the game. It's a sabotage. Sabotage doesn't mean that you're going to spoil something. That our team is not playing, so we are not coming to the stadium. I believe so. I strongly believe that it's something that's what can happen. They will ask yourself, why do I come to the stadium to watch House of Folk? Why do I go to watch Mazembe? But supposing Kotoko were playing, they would have come to the stadium.
Right, we'll pay attention to everything that happens there. Now, Chelsea reserve captain Daniel Papel has contradicted reports by the Ghana Football Association. He was dropped from the under-20 national team squad because of a recurrent injury, raising eyebrows over the real reason for his inclusion. In a massive embarrassment for the Ghana FA, the Chelsea reserve team captain massively contradicted the Black Satellites after being dropped from Ghana's under-20 team for the World Cup, which starts on Friday. The Football Association confirmed the Chelsea youth star would not be part of the team for the World Cup due to complications over a past knee injury. Papel was initially drafted into the Black Satellites team for the World Cup campaign in Turkey. The 19-year-old, according to the FA, is being withdrawn from the team over an injury which is being managed. But the Chelsea youth star insists claims of his injury is false, raising eyebrows over the real reason. Israeli-based Babab Mensah has taken the place of Papel and will stick to the number 11 shirt. Ghana opens its World Cup campaign on Friday against France. The Black Satellites are hoping to emulate the historic 2009 feat, where the then generation under the current coach Selassie Tete became the first African side to win the World Cup at the under-20 level. All right, so we can say a prayer for the Black Satellites who begin that campaign on Friday against France. And let me quickly give you the updates of what's happening in the Confederations Cup there. Brazil currently leading Mexico by 1-0. Just a few minutes to win the game, and that will be a 100% record for Brazil because they won the first game against Japan by 3-0. The next game tonight is going to be between Italy and Japan. That'll be all for sports. My name is George Adejuna. Israel will join us with Showbiz. You have a good night.
Sports was brought to you in association.
Vigilante Martin Amidu has challenged claims by government that it supported him in his landmark case at the Supreme Court, in which Waterville has been ordered to refund a €25 million judgment debt it received from the state. Meanwhile, the minority wants the Attorney General to take steps to ensure the state can recover monies paid to businessman Alfred Woyome should the court rule against him in a related case. Government has defended criticisms against the Interministerial Anti-Galamsey Task Force. Alfred Van der Poel has been reaffirmed as a Accra mayor despite calls for his removal by some gang chiefs. And the Makala No. 2 school that was shut down as a result of the recent fire has been reopened. All right, coming up next, we have PM Express and Nana Ansakwa standing by to tell us what's coming up on the show. Good evening to you, Nana.
Good evening, Israel.
What's coming up tonight?
Israel, as a state, we are breeding a very, very dangerous menace. And very soon, the chickens are going to come home to roost. And Israel, if we are not careful, we are all going to be in trouble. Now, if you want to know what I'm talking about, stay tuned and watch PM Express.
Certainly. So make a day for PM Express, which comes up right after this bulletin. You have a good night.